The story begins with a couple. Sean and his wife, Andrea, live in Los Angeles. Andrea is expecting a baby, and although they are both happy, Sean is struggling to achieve financial stability. He works as a school security guard, hoping that the principal will recommend him for a more lucrative position in private security. Sean believes that this step will finally allow them to secure their future, where Andrea has an ultrasound. The doctor mentions some complications with the pregnancy, but also gives Sean helpful advice on how to best support his wife from the beginning. Sean is consumed with anxiety about work. His main concern is to provide a decent life for his child. Andrea also works, but Sean dreams of the day when he will earn enough for her to stay at home. Despite all the difficulties, they love each other deeply. Sean treats everyone at work with kindness, following his daily ritual. But one night, something strange happens. While he's working outside, the streetlight begins to flicker. Looking up, he notices an unusual light in the sky, moving like a computer cursor, chaotically and unnaturally. And then, just as suddenly, the light disappears. This moment leaves Sean stunned, and the audience with a sense of unease, hinting that the story is about to take a mysterious turn. The next evening, Sean and Andrea go to a party at Christian's, an old friend of Sean's who has become like a brother to him. Sean's mother died in childbirth, and when he was only 7, his father committed suicide. Christian and his mother, Robin, became a substitute family for Sean. Although Robin once cared for him, her sharp tongue and habit of constantly reminding him of her favors caused Sean to dislike her. At the party, Robin asks him about his finances, but Sean refuses her help. She notes that Sean's father also struggled with money, despite his intelligence, and hints that this weakness may run in the family. Later, Christian invites Sean to the basement for a private conversation. He jokingly asks if Sean is sure about his decision to have a child, warning him that he may regret it. Sean laughs and replies that it's too late to back out now. During a high school camping trip, a deer got caught in a fence. While the others panicked, Sean calmly approached and touched the animal. It instantly calmed down, allowing him to free it. Christian calls this Sean's magic touch, proof that he will be a wonderful father. Sean quietly admits that he would like to feel that confidence again. Then Sean notices a small collection of guns. Christian explains that they belong to his late father-in-law, Lori. Something about these guns catches Sean's attention, and he jokingly says he wouldn't mind having one of his own. Christian dissuades him, reminding him that they have a child on the way. The best protection for his family is himself. That evening, on his way home, Sean receives a message from his boss about problems with the school security system. He drops Andrea off and texts her that he will be late. After checking the alarm, Sean notices a flickering light on the roof. Climbing up, he sees a dazzling beam in the sky. The light seems to hypnotize him. Then darkness falls, and he is pierced by visions. He was trapped in a web of tubes attached to his head and the terrifying image of his father's lifeless body. He woke up in a hospital room with his head bandaged. Andrea reassured him, explaining that he had fallen from the roof and miraculously survived, suffering only a head injury. The doctor called his rescue nothing short of a miracle. Back home, Andre scolded him for risking his life over a light bulb, reminding him that both she and their future child needed him alive and unharmed. Sean understood and promised to be more careful. As he recovered, Sean began to notice something strange: new abilities. Before the accident, he could barely draw, but now he could create detailed sketches and impressions. He could paint impressive pictures, as if a hidden talent had awakened in him. But along with his new skills came disturbing side effects. Hallucinations so vivid that he could no longer distinguish reality from fiction. One morning, he watched Andrea walking toward him. Suddenly, her body was paralyzed, and an invisible force dragged Andrea into the darkness in front of everyone. But in the next moment, the picture changed, as if it had been just a nightmare. The next day at the hospital, Sean sees Andrea writhing in pain on the monitor in the waiting room. In a panic, he runs out into the hallway and notices his sick, confused doppelganger sitting on a bench. The line between reality and illusion is blurring, and the story is becoming increasingly disturbing. As Sean seems to drift away from the real world, his senses become heightened to unnatural extremes. He hears distant conversations and draws obsessively. His friends and doctors are baffled. The tests show nothing, but Sean feels that something is deeply wrong. The strange visions return. He feels as if he is trapped somewhere else, desperately trying to escape. The incident on the school roof now seems like more than just a fall, but something bigger, perhaps an alien abduction. But it remains unclear whether these events are real or just in Sean's mind. The film deliberately keeps the viewer in the dark until the very end. Sean shows his drawings to the doctor and describes the strange visions and heightened hearing that have been haunting him since the incident. The doctor cannot find a clear explanation, but advises Sean to continue drawing. Perhaps his mind is trying to concentrate through art. She also recommends consulting a psychiatrist, but refrains from prescribing medication for now. Even in the light of day, Sean begins to notice something strange. One night he hears a noise in the house, grabs a knife, and discovers a dog that has somehow wandered into the house. Not wanting to leave it behind, Sean takes the dog to Christian. While preparing the nursery, Sean goes out to buy paint, but also buys art supplies, which causes Robin to make snide remarks. Thanks to his keen hearing, Sean clearly hears her comments. Later, while sorting through things in the garage, he finds old photos of his father. And the memories cause a storm of emotions in him. While painting the nursery, Sean zones out and, without realizing it, covers the wall with a strange three-dimensional pattern instead of simply painting it. Andrea finds him asleep on the floor and is confused by the sinister pattern. Sean is just as shocked. He doesn't even remember how he created it. As the due date approaches, Sean realizes he needs to focus on Andrea, but his head is heavy and his perception fluctuates between deafening clarity and fog, as if in a dream. One evening at a party, Sean is visited by new disturbing visions. Across the room, a man stares at him with hatred. It is himself again, the other Sean. He sees his doppelganger open his eyes wide, which suddenly change in a frightening way. Andrea panics when she finds Sean on the side of the road with a bloody nose, as if he had injured himself without noticing. At night, unable to sleep, Sean discovers a small scratch on his arm. He obsessively picks at it until blood appears, then sees his own eyes in the mirror, distorted and unnatural, which return to normal a moment later. Sean feels increasingly desperate, unable to separate reality from illusion. What hurts him most is the thought that he has become a burden to Andrea, rather than her protector. It feels like something has trapped me and won't let me back to you. I keep trying to reach you, but they won't let me. Maybe I'll never come back. The world around him no longer seems real. Andrea calms him down, begging him not to sink into dark thoughts. The next day, Sean meets with a doctor. She looks at his drawings, some related to his visions, others to fragments of memories. Looking into her face, Sean feels that they have met before but cannot remember when. Knowing his family history, the doctor cautiously asks if he has had thoughts of self-harm, mentioning his father's tragic death. Sean admits that he feels depressed and sad, but insists that he would never harm himself. Nevertheless, the doctor suspects deeper problems and does not prescribe medication yet, wanting to understand the patient better. The next day, still worried and concerned for Andrea's safety, Sean visits Christian and asks him for a gun. Christian warns him that it's a bad idea, but Sean, convinced that something is after him, doesn't back down. Later, Sean paints over a strange drawing in the nursery. At her next checkup, the doctor discusses complications with Andrea's pregnancy, but Sean shows unexpected suspicion and anger. That same day, while putting up a poster about a lost dog, he hears a baby crying behind a wall. He rushes into the building but is unable to help the child, leaving viewers as confused as he is. What is real and what is not? He continues his sessions with a psychiatrist, asking why he has changed so much and whether his brain is damaged. The doctor explains that it could be savant syndrome, a rare condition in which head trauma reveals sudden artistic talent. She describes how serotonin seeps into damaged tissue, creating new neural connections and revealing hidden abilities. It's unusual but not dangerous, and it's possible to live a normal life with it. Still, Sean quietly suspects something else, maybe even alien intervention, and feels guilty that he can't be there for Andrew. The next day, Sean buys some bullets. Soon, Andrew finds the gun and starts a fight, saying that guns are dangerous, especially with a kid around. Instead of getting rid of it, Sean hides the gun in his car at work. The next day, his boss mentions that the school gates were left open at night, and strange graffiti appeared on the wall. Talk of a promotion to a better position stops, but Sean is at least allowed to keep his current job. His drawings become increasingly strange, featuring tall figures of aliens with empty eyes, empty landscapes, and mysterious symbols resembling coded maps. All of this reflects his desperate desire to escape. In one vision, Sean sees himself trapped with other people in a mysterious place. Andrea becomes increasingly anxious and asks what these images mean, but Sean cannot answer. Through her tears, she begs him for support, reminding him that it is hard for her too, and that she expects clarity from him. Sean visits Robin and asks about Astor. She explains that it is just the name of the town where his father lived, his childhood home. But suddenly, Sean sees the face of an alien instead of Robin's, panics, and accuses her of being one of them. To test reality, he grabs a knife and cuts his own hand. The pain is real. Robin is horrified and bandages his wound. Depressed and desperate, Sean contemplates suicide. He goes to the ocean with a gun but cannot pull the trigger, and eventually throws the weapon away. Returning home, he finds Robin and Christian's wife helping Andrea, who has lost consciousness. Christian's wife lashes out at Sean, accusing him of indifference, and Andrea refuses to see him. Heartbroken, Sean spends the next few days at Christian's house. He continues to draw, remembering the doctor's advice that it might help him heal. He fills page after page and shows them to the doctor, desperately hoping for answers. But she admits that the images are too complex to interpret. In despair, Sean breaks down. He is convinced that this world is not real, that he is trapped in a foreign dimension and must escape. Suddenly, he starts bleeding from his nose, and the next moment he finds himself in a nearby hospital where a woman is dying in childbirth. Looking closely, Sean recognizes her as Andrea. He is overcome with horror until he wakes up and realizes it was just a dream. He rushes home to check on Andrea, but the strange visions return. Robin and his wife Christina appear as aliens tormenting Andrea. Then the images dissipate, revealing that nothing has happened. In the nursery, Sean notices new drawings that he doesn't remember creating. Scenes from a place called Astor. Believing that the answers lie there, he goes there and recognizes the landscapes from his sketches. These are memories from his childhood, brought back to life after a head injury. In Astor, he finds his old house and, to his amazement, his long-dead father sitting nearby. Sean realizes that this is not real, but the conversations bring him comfort. His father says that Sean will be a good father because he has a strength that he himself lacked. Overwhelmed with emotion, Sean thanks him, saying, "Your son loves you very much." As Sean turns to leave, a gunshot rings out, the moment of his father's death. The same blinding flash he saw once fills the air, and it seems as if Sean is finally returning to his real world. The story takes us back to the school where Sean first fell. He feels sick and nauseous. A stranger offers him a ride. Although Sean doesn't know him, the man is clearly aware of him. Sean's name is written among others in the man's notebook. Each has precise coordinates, as if he is tracking who will return and from where. The stranger utters some eerie words. "Returning is no joke. They've been digging around in your brain all night. You are brave. Most don't return so quickly." He drops Sean off at his house without further explanation. Sean doesn't ask any questions. He just wants to be with Andrea. Everything we saw, the blinding light on the roof, the strange visions, may have happened in one night. The two wounds on Sean's head match the tubes from his first vision, suggesting that the encounter may have been real and not a hallucination. Perhaps it was an alien world manipulating his mind. Sean lies down next to Andrea. There's a quiet smile on his face, as if he is finally free. But here's the final twist. All of Sean's drawings, strange landscapes, symbols, and alien figures now cover the bedroom wall. If his experience was just a dream, where did these drawings come from? The film ends on this disturbing note, leaving us wondering if Sean has really returned.